Hey, what's happening, guys? You know who it is, and it's just me, as always. Always coming directly through your YouTube channel, coming directly through your TV set, coming directly straight from out of nowhere. No, I'm just joking. No, coming directly to you, coming straight from YouTube as the one, the only, Rashid Mateen. You know, this show, or you might say this ministry, or these, are very insightful. So I'm here to shed some light on some things that way to make you feel at ease or make you feel comfortable. This is Quiet Storm, and I'm here tonight to tell you that you know we always have something of value. You know what I mean? So I'm just here, to shed some light on some things, to let you guys know. The main thing that I want to shed light on is that the legacy that was created tonight or today. You know, a legacy is something that, is memorable. A lot of people remember, what you did at the time you did it. So for me, a lot of people don't know how a legacy gets started. It starts with your career. Your career has to be memorable. It has to be moment to moment. When you have a career will tell you the difference between a legend and icon. A legend is someone that's been in the game long enough. Icon is someone that's been in the game over a period of time. That's the difference. Period of time, been in the game long enough to be called a legend. You have to earn that by the experiences. You have to have like 20 years plus to be called a legend. Legends are forever. Another thing, let me shed some light on the memorial. I'm lost for words, man. Just by that by itself, I'm kind of lost for words. You know, he was a great humanitarian, a great father, a great man of faith. He went to church, and on top of that, he has four beautiful children, four daughters, and you know, tragically, one of his daughters is in a better place with him. Gigi is what Vanessa called her daughter, Gigi, and it's very very rare to hear a name like that. It's unusual. Gianna, that's a very respectable thing to say. Her friends, they might call her Gigi, and they feel like close family members. And that's what it felt like when you watch Kobe go through the trials that he went through. He went through a lot of trials and tribulations. He went through a lot of trials, a lot of things that he was tested by, things that were said, things that were done. But out of respect for Kobe, I feel like people, it's hard to describe what a memorial service is all about. It's not just about basketball. It's beyond basketball. It's beyond sports. He was a global ambassador of the sport. He was always helping, other people become and live out their dream. When you have someone like that, that is a hero to the community of Los Angeles, he brought the city together. And bringing the city together under one roof, under one light, the city came together knowing that this was a game changer. It changed. When it takes a tragedy to make a big change in a city or to make a big change in the world. A tragedy like this is hard to forget, but it lasts forever. That's the words of the great late Kobe Bryant. He said, legends live forever. You know, legends do live forever. When you become a legend, that name becomes significant to all people. That means you are a legend to what you've done for your career. Excuse me. It's always a game changer when people don't know how legends began. Humble beginnings. You start from the beginning and you work your way up. A lot of times we don't know how he came about, but we've seen numerous of videos that made it, worth our while. Like we saw him grow up in front of our eyes as a man when he was 17. Being a 17-year-old, some 17-year-olds, they have a hard time figuring out their career path. He knew what his career path was. He knew he wanted to play basketball. He knew that that's all he wanted to do. When he went to the Charlotte Hornets in 1996, Jerry West or Jerry Buss and Jerry West saw, great potential in him. They saw that he was going to be the face of the Lakers, and he did become the face of the Lakers. He was the Lakers franchise. The Staples Center was filled with his presence. Every day he walked in the Staples Center, you knew his name will live on forever in that Staples Center. And it takes a big arena, a cloud of witnesses as the people that was in the arena to witness greatness before their eyes. He rose. He was a warrior within. He gave the sport life. He gave it liberty in the pursuit of justice. He was a hero, an action hero. He even had a rap career for a short period of time, but he was a rapper, a musician, an author, a father, a husband, a man of faith, an activist, a humanitarian. He was a teacher. He was an ambassador he was a legend. He was someone that, people would say, oh, Kobe Jelly Bean Bryant. We know who that is because he get the nickname from his father, and out of respect for his family, my condolences to Vanessa Bryant and his 4 daughters, and their 4 daughters, well, 3, now. So our respect for them. I think her speech really went into the hearts of all those 3,000 people. And it's a time where you have to express the way you have to express how you feel. That's part of being human. We forget that we are human beings. He was a human being first. When he would go home, he was a family man. He was a human being. He was a father. He was a husband. He had daughters that he had to take care of, provide for, like any other father. When he retired from the sport, he let people know what it was that, who he was. This is who he was. And he wasn't going to change that for anybody. And the thing that I've learned about this tragedy is that other people, families were on board with him in that helicopter in Calabasas. It's a shock, man. This is unspeakable. The way I found out was at work. A guy from work, told me that this has happened. The helicopter fell down. At first, I thought it was a joke. You hear so many things about athletes and people that you admire, people that you see, that you grew up watching, and they grew up in front of your eyes. You think it's a joke, but it wasn't a joke. And I realized that, he was more than just a sports figure or athlete. He was someone that I grew close to know. I didn't know him personally or his family, but I grew up, watching, I grew grew up watching, Kobe Bryant. You know, I grew to love him as a man, not just as a basketball, legend, but as a man. He was very, very humble individual. He was show his humility through anything he did. Whatever he did as an athlete, he showed his humility. Because I played basketball myself, and the years that I played, I seen his moves. I was like, who is this Kobe Bryant? After he played with Magic, and then then he was on the bench. He got his name known. Then he played with Shaq. Him and Shaq. It was Shaq and Kobe at first because that was a new legacy that was arising. And I realized that by watching him, it wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was beyond basketball. It became a point where he was a businessman, an author, a TV star, a musician. He did things that most athletes. He was a, director. He knew what he was going to become. He knew what was going to happen before it happened. He was 6 years old when he first saw the game of basketball. He realized at 6 that he was going to live out his dreams to becoming an NBA legend. He knew. He already seen it in his heart. And the best thing about that is that we all have something that we have in our hearts. He had a heart. That's what made him human, the human side of him. He would make people happy to be around him. And that's something that I can connect with when it comes to Kobe Bryant. Just to say his name, just to say his name is beautiful. Because he lived out his dreams and he lived the best life he could for his family, for his daughters. And that's all you can ask for, by being a man. Men have to live for their families. They have to build a foundation for the platform, foundation for their families to, walk on, to be strong on, to be the shelter. He was the shelter. He was the warrior. He was, putting on the armor. He put on the full armor every single day. He put on the full armor, go to the game, take his daughters, out to their games and get them to the classes, school, and do the fatherly thing. I think being a father is a great thing, man. I'm a father. I'm also a husband, and a brother, and a son. And that's what I enjoy the most, being as a father and a husband to my family. And taking care of my family. I have a daughter too. And, I can relate to how he, took that seriously, because people thought he should have had boys, but in my opinion, he had 4 girls, which was awesome. Gianna was a very special young lady. She, did what she carried on his legacy before that tragedy happened on January 26th. And you know what? I appreciate the time he made the video with him and his daughter spending time together. I think that was most important to me, was that he spent time with his daughter. Like I spent time with my daughter. And I think people need to realize that it's not just about basketball or being an NBA star when it comes to your kids. It's about being a father to your kids and spending time with them, the here and now, while you're on this earth. I think that time is precious. I think that we need to realize that time is very precious. Time is, of the essence, because time, you can't rewind it. Only thing you can do is live out your success, and your success can be anything, whether it be a musician or a doctor or a nurse or a janitor, or I'll say to kids, live your dreams, live your reality, live the way you want to live, and then you will see yourself blossom into the greatest flower ever. Moving mountains is something that we all search for. But the greatest glory of all is believing that the Lord God is always going to be with us. Have faith, love, and cherish your family, your loved ones, and people around you. Remember, it is a blessing to have them in your life as support. Have a strong support system. This is another quiet storm. May you be blessed.